Good afternoon, beautiful ladies, wonderful gentlemen. Yeah, good afternoon. What it do with you? You got Icy Dawn in the house, looking like Scrappy Dawn right now, but it's all Gucci. We have an interesting one because for some reason this will be like all other ones a freestyle session that I will be able to tie into Lamar Johnson. Why? Is because we the generation of the 60 babies and 70 babies, the generation that was born in the 60s and the 70s, mainly the 70s and the 80s, but I'm gonna throw the 60 babies in there as well. But those people who was born in the 1960s, those people born in the 1970s, those people born in the 1980s, that was a generation of men and women that during the time of the 60s, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about like if you was a baby in the 60s. I ain't talking about the baby. I'm talking about now the like you adult in the 60s. That whole time was really was moving. But the babies of the 60s, those who was born, like truly born in the 60s, it's like 20 years later, we dropped the 60s ball. We might have had a little bit of spark. I was born in the 60s, but you might have had a little bit of the spark, but you fumbled it and dropped it. Those children that was born in the 70s, you had a spark because we was the generation of those who benefited from getting businesses, those who benefited from having some type of land or having some type of wealth passed down. So the 70 babies, you was like the last generation. I'm talking about black people that actually benefited from something. Now, those born in the 80s, most of them benefited from the drug epidemic, the crack epidemic, and everything like that, which was a disaster, which was very sad to think about when you think about it. So now, where do that go? It goes to the generation now. All of our 30-year olds, our 20-year olds, our teens. This generation of 30-year olds, the 20-year olds, and the teens, and then the younger children, you guys are witnessing the most worst downfall of human life outside of the slavery revolution. That whole slavery time was disgusting, but this right now, when you are free people and you don't have your mind right, when you don't have your mind right, that itself is devastating. That itself is catastrophic. Catastrophic. That itself can cause can cause like a pandemic or that epidemic, and it's basically it's just devastating. It's an epidemic of destruction, and that's what you see right now, especially with the young black men. Our young black men are really, truly at a point where they are the ones who are hurting the most because they lacked the most. In the last 40 years, most of the young black men grew up fatherless, and that itself got them off the porch and got them into the streets and got them in the situations that they are in where they're looking for some type of love, some type of father figure, some type of family structure, some type of unity, and some type of God that they wasn't getting when they was in their original household. And now they're seeking that father figure, that love, that family, the God, the friend, just the unity. They looking for that infrastructure, and it's kind of too late because what has happened now is they've been embraced, they've been indulged, they've been infested with the devil. And as long as we don't use that word demon and devil, devil, we won't really get it. We say he's savage, you know what I'm saying? But a devil is a savage. We say we take away all the words of devil and demon, and we use other words for what it really is, but we just not calling for what it is. And so many of our young men are being possessed with this demon that got them where they want to. They want their life to be taken. That's why you have so much gun violence in the street. These are people really don't want to live, and so they just in the streets seeing how long they got before their time comes. And that's if you really do a real survey, if you do a real questionnaire of all the men that's out in the streets, they wait. Their end result will be like, well, it's in a matter of days. You know, it's a matter of time when my time will come. Everybody gotta die. And for those people who believe everybody gotta die, it's just a matter of time when my time won't come. If that's the model that you live by, you already know that you're being possessed by a demon. Because we are people who really should be focusing on longevity of life because we have seeds to plant and fruits to benefit from. But those people who don't have seeds to plant and don't want to reap the benefits of the fruit of their labor, they are possessed and they would want to infestate all others' minds to think that you too don't need that. So we're going to dip into Freddie P. We're going, oh, you know what? Matter of fact, I actually got to pull up one of his videos as well. So I'm gonna pull up one of the videos because see, not only am I gonna pull up his video of him speaking about his situation, and he spoke eloquently, and he represented about 25 million men. And what he did, he represented for about 25 million men. If he can get $1 for every man, he's a 25 million-dollar man because he represented in the words and the tears and the frustration and the anger. And what hurts the most is that people do things for clickbait. I got this from this one guy's I didn't get it straight from Freddie P, which I really did, which I got it straight from his, but I got it from someone else's, and it was clickbait. It said, Freddie P says he could blow Diddy's top off for wrecking his life. I didn't even read the thing to, after I put it up there, and I'm like, I listened to it. He didn't say nothing like I would blow Diddy's top off. He said I would go to it. I'm gonna get to it, but he said something like, I'm the type of person who would knock your top off. He didn't say he was directing to Diddy. He just said, "Yo, I'm not the type of person to be online venting and crying. I'm the type of person that would be out there and take your top off." But this person for clickbait said that he would take Diddy top off, which starts more and more and more confrontation. And that's what I'm saying. Demon possession. When we demon possessed, we do things like that, which we have to really stop and put into. We can't keep trying to stir up the confrontation. We must be mediation for the confrontation, and that's what this live is about. I definitely want to get to one of his videos because one of his videos was. I'm gonna take the little time out right now to pull up that video. I'm gonna pull that video up real quick. Good to see you folks up here. V, you good to do, man? How you feel? How you feeling, V? I see my man Slim, Slewfoot Slim is up in the house. Slew, how you do? And then I got some. I don't know what the hell that is. So, what is up, people? Thanks for tuning in. Let me dip out for 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab this other video real quick, and then I'm gonna go to the video. Okay? I'm sorry I didn't have it lined up. Let me go grab this video. I'll be right back. Making the lights off. Perfect. Okay. That's excellent day. And so now we can mute you. We can stop you. We can stop you. Then we can get back to the stream yard. Okay. So I got the videos up. I have the videos up. I have some notes and some time frames I want to check out real quick. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how long this live stream will be, especially if I stick to my notes. I'm gonna try and stick to the notes today. I'm gonna try and do a nice little live stream before I begin the day. But one of the most important things right now is this right here, folks. These are fresh. These are still wet. I'm just making this one. But it's very important for you to love your life, okay? You gotta love your life. And I know sometimes it can become hard to really love your life when you go through some rocks and some mud slides, but you still have to love yourself. And sometimes if you can't find it in yourself to love yourself, then you have to always just remember that God is good, and God brings the good in you to love yourself. So, like I say, being the messenger, we deliver the message. It's important, folks, to have messengers out here in the world. That young man, that young man needs a message. That young man needs a messenger. That young man actually knew what he was doing even by coming online and doing this video, because in this world he can do video. He could do that video. He could do that video, and he can close down that phone and shut it down, and that's that. He did the video. It's been recorded, but no one knows until you press the button to send to the world, for the world to be able to pick it up and see. And it takes a whole lot for you, especially as a black man, to have tears come down because of emotions inside, and you allow yourself to be heard. And when you allow yourself to be heard, you heard in a manner where people can ridicule you. They can just say, "Oh well, man up," or they can actually show caring and compassion, and they can give you a word. They can give you a hug. They can give you love. And so when the man say that's the direction I want, there's gotta be somebody that's gonna give love. They're gonna see my realness, and it's gonna help somebody else, but they're gonna give me the love. That's what he's for, the jokes. He's not looking for the people to ridicule him. He's not looking for the hate. When a man decides I'm gonna send this, is because this is his way of now getting therapy. Don't you understand that therapy now comes through a phone? Therapy comes through these cameras that's on these laptops, and talking to the people, and coming to the to into your chat line and seeing things of people. You know what I'm saying? People coming and saying, "Peace, Dawn." That's therapy. And so when people can take time out to understand what the internet has become, we all as human beings are each other's therapists. I told you I'm a hood therapist, and I'm trying to let you know that we all are therapists. And this young man, Freddie, he came to the YouTube world, he came to Instagram, and he vented his situation. And he vented in a way that he didn't reveal much. But for you to say this man's going to die a horrible death, why would you say that he's going to die a horrible death unless you knew something? And he knows something just like many other people know stuff. And he even said that, when you die, people are going to talk bad about you. They're going to tell the real. So we're going to listen to Freddie for 2 seconds. And I'm going to go right now. I'm starting like 4 minutes and 48 seconds in. I'm going to go to the end. I'm going to be dancing around. I'm not just going to go straight from the beginning. And I hope that you guys can hear this because it's kind of low. So hopefully you can hear it.
I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of Earth, man. I want somebody to take. I don't want to do it. Because the shit that we've been through.
Where the hell this commercial come from?
I step on shit, no problem. I told my son the other day, I said, you know how good I feel knowing you don't have to come up in a life where you gotta pray for your sins, where you don't have to worry about it. I said, dog, I've been through a lot. I've been praying for my forgiveness for my whole life. I don't know no other way. I don't know what it feels to be a good citizen. I don't know that shit, dog. I never had that money.
Okay, that right there was very important for us to really break down. He said to that he said to his son. His son's not young. He said, you know, his son is pretty much older, and he said to his son that, you know, he just happy that you don't have to go through the life that he went through, and, you know, saying he prayed for his sins and things like that. But I'm gonna go to the topic. The heading of this topic is Black Men Need Fathers. Okay, most boys are out here sinning because they lack fathers. Most boys are out here sinning because they do not have father figures in their lives. Most boys are out there sinning because they lack discipline. One of the most important things that you get when you're a child is you get discipline. Those children who was not disciplined in the world as children most likely end up undisciplined children as they older, or should I say adults as they older. But I use the right word, children, because if you really didn't get discipline as a child, most likely you still live in adulthood as a child. Most likely, in most cases, throughout most of the world, that is the situation. If you lack discipline, you lack being adult. Those who have more discipline and those who understand and respect discipline. See, it's not just being disciplined and then you call it I was abused. No, you have to not just receive it, but you have to respect it. And those who can respect discipline, that's a sign of you being mature, and that's a sign of you being an adult. See, like I said, when I talk to you guys, I talk about therapy. And when we talk about therapy, we really got to understand what therapy is. We have to get our young men to become mature young men. You have to become a mature young man, and that comes with discipline. And you're going to understand he's this young boy. He was undisciplined. He's going to tell his story. I met this other kid. He said he's been off the porch since he's 7. He's about to turn 34. He said he's been off the porch ever since. He's been in the streets ever since. Okay, it's time to get it right. And the only way we can get things right, the only way we can get things right, folks, is by getting right up here. And once we get it right up here, that means we are mature young men. We have to get it right. Okay? This is it. Get the words in your head so it can come out your mouth. Get it right. And once we can get it right, then we must be able to handle each other with care. Okay? It's important to handle each other with care because everyone is not the same, although we are all dealing with similar situations. Most of our situations are dealing with economics. We don't want to be in a situation where we lacking. We don't want to be in a situation where we slacking. We don't want to be in a situation where everyone is got more and just looking better because of whatever situation. So most people are out there in the streets trying to get money up because that's what they know, that's what they see to be right, and that's what they just want to do. That's what they want to do. But most of this world forces you to have to do it because look at the price of everything. Who wants to work a job just to buy gas and bread and some eggs? I went to the store today and price of eggs at $2. Like, yo, who wants to just be living life just to so that they can actually eat at home all the time, not be able to travel and eat somewhere. And so once you understand what we're dealing with an economic crisis of economic slavery that wants us all to be dead mentally and dead spiritually. So therefore, you're gonna have those undisciplined individuals go out there in the streets, and then they cause a situation where they brag about it through a video, and they brag about it through lifestyles, and then they be idolized, and that's the demon. They idolize those who doing the wrong things because to do the right thing means to build and to build an infrastructure that you don't really need the government assistance as much. And once you have the government not being able to assist, then that becomes a problem. Look at Ukraine and Russia. They want power over you. So it's important for them to have us undisciplined, have us out there in the streets, off the porch at the age of 7, and out there doing the wrong things for a couple of pennies. You know what I'm saying? Just for a couple of pennies. Just for a couple of pennies. It's not for the bigger picture. So let's go back to this young man's words.
For 13, we've been providing on our own, dog. Big gangsters, my nigga, my mama's kids. We ain't had no daddies at all that shit y'all niggas got. We ain't got all that, man.
A lot of
My
times
big
people get
brothers and my
jealous
daddy, dog.
of
And
that.
we learned along the way.
Learning along the way.
So I came up in life where shooting is normal. Robbing is normal. That's my
Shooting and
son
robbing
got
is
pulled over
normal.
there. He could be a citizen.
Shooting and robbing is normal for a lot of these folks. He's from Florida, right? And when I went to Florida, like I said, man, Florida is a very unique state. It is actually a scary state because it's beautiful. The sky is super blue. The grass is crazy green. The trees are pretty. The birds are awesome looking. I mean, you wake up and you just feel like you in like a movie. You feel like you just don't need to do anything except for enjoy the sun. But that's only because, like they say, it's a retirement state. So if you got that bread, you could just up and bounce. You could go to Florida, you can actually breathe. But if you don't have that good life and you out in Florida, that sun is hot, your belly is empty, and your frustration becomes up to a different level. Because you could tell from the have and the have nots of how it's divided. I was in Tampa. You could just tell like where it starts to change the community, and it's changing real fast. And folks, everyone out there who's really out there, and it just you could just tell like, damn, man, they need love, they need a father, they need a hug, they need a mother, they need to not be part of this whole video structure. That's why all you guys who focus on making music and videos, if you talking about guns right now, shoot yourself. If you talk about popping bottles, down that shit until you pass out and then die, because we don't need that no more. Let that come back 20 years from later when we actually mature enough to be popping bottles because we truly celebrating life. If we talk about guns because we finally had that ultimate war for freedom, let it come down the road when we talk about real shit. But if we just talk about being gangster to niggas around the corner and around the block from us, and we talk about being hood celebrities to one another who don't really even have, and you thinking because you got a couple of dollars you doing something, kill yourself, because folks, we killing each other with that dialogue. That dialogue is need to be 6 feet deep, folks, 12 feet deep under. We don't need that dialogue no more because that dialogue gets people like this young man in this situation.
We can go through anything in this world. You be a pilot. My fucking son will be a pilot, nigga. Think I give a fuck about these niggas. It ain't even about money no more. This shit ain't even about money, gang. Cause can't no money make me happy. Nigga, my dog asked me the other day. He like, what'll make you happy, bro? I'm like, I don't even know, man. Just I like doing for people. I just like to be able to be there for. I just love to be there for people. That's what made me happy from day one. That's why I even did it, man. I don't give a fuck about no music, man. God gave me this talent. This talent is given, bro. You can't take that from me, man. I do this shit. This shit y'all work hard on, I do in 2 minutes, man. 2 minutes. It take a lot to do this video. I don't even know if I'm gonna release it, but I needed this for myself. I had to just break away and talk to myself real quick. But people don't know what a nigga been through to be at your highest peak and have it snatched away from you because you don't want to kiss ass.
Mm.
And man, we all black people, man. Black people continue to step
We all
on each
black
other and
people.
hold each other.
You hear what he said? Because you don't want to kiss ass, because you don't want to coon around, black people will then turn on you. And if you heard what he said that this ain't this talent that he has is just naturally given. This ain't something that he do, for it. He wasn't even doing it for the money. He was doing it because he just was able to do it. He said he joined making the band. He went for that whole thing just because he just wanted to be part of people, be around something different. Like I say, a family. He saw Diddy in the family. He was looking for like a family. But if he had real people around him from the beginning, he would have been guided properly. But because most guys, they think that being a rapper is being part of the streets, and they think that that's how you gotta get initiated into this rap world. That's how you get caught up with the whole demonic spirit. And then when you have demons as head of record labels, and they just want to use you for their demonic despise, they gonna use you and abuse you. And then once you show your real colors, it's like, yo, man, I want to do for my community, man. I want to build. Once you show those true colors, you're gone. You're gone. And I believe that this young man probably really truly would have been able to do so much great if Diddy would have did the right thing with him. And then you say, oh, why are you putting blame on Diddy? Well, like he says, you got $900 million and you started something. It's not like you had $0. You said this is what you wanted to do. You already had this bread, and it was things that you could have done. You made money off of them, and then you just dropped them like they wasn't human beings, and you say this is business. That's the demonic way of thinking, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. We live in a life where it's easy for us to embrace the demonic way of thinking, and then put a spell on other people to get them to believe that is, well, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not the way it is. That's not godly. That's not godly. And that's what we focus on. We focus on so much ungodly stuff that we are dropping the ball, and we losing. We so caught up into scandals, we so caught up with drama that we're losing. Let me go back to my man right here, because like I said, there's a lot that he's saying in this one stretch. I know it's kind of very low. It's sad. It saddens me that it's so low. I wish I could hear him, but I'm gonna go back. We at 7. Okay, so he's gonna say something. He's gonna say something about something very important right here.
Down, and that shit for people mental. I'm a nigga that'll run in there and blow your shit loose, bro. I don't give a fuck. Do you really want to be in a situation where you make a man that mad, dog? Where you take it from a man's family where I gotta sell dope for 20 years and survive in these streets and still don't have a felony, my nigga. I had my freedom almost taken away from me several times, dog. You hear me? Trying to survive, my nigga.
And that's what he's mad at.
Can't go get no job. You just want.
This is where he's really mad at, folks. He's mad at the point where he came across the opportunity of lifetime. He pretty much lost the opportunity, and then all the connections that's within the industry itself is being safed, is being put in a safe with a key, and Diddy's holding the key because he don't want these people to prosper. That's no different than all these cats on YouTube, how they go out there and they would go out there and they put out some old blasphemy about me and say Don is this and Don is that. and you shouldn't give to Don because this, and don't do that for Don because Don is this, and like and cast a spell on folks not to to fuck with Don, but yet still you still mess with me and whoever that person is, and they the devil. And that's how demons work. And it's so sad that so many people follow demonic behavior. And like his guy said, he's in the music industry, and he's seen it at a higher level. And it's like they were selling themselves, and then he was like the type of dude who's like, yo, all this selling myself just for this music thing. He's like, nah, I ain't got time for all this. I can't be doing all that. And all this game shit. Yo, let's just make this music. But it was too much goofball coon shit going on. The goofball coon shit. And it's so sad because Freddie, like I say, he we know that he shot guns. We know that he sold drugs. We know that he was in the streets. But we also know that he didn't have a father figure. And we know that that's the problem with millions of men. And this man venting right here, this situation right here, is very important.
Want to be regular sometimes. You can't even go get a job. You walk in the job, hey, what's up, boy? You know, back up, what the fuck? You can't even be a regular human no more. Some shit like that. But he don't know nothing about that because he don't come from this shit. He don't come from this shit for real. Niggas like that don't come from this shit. Niggas like that don't think about all about hurt. Getting game, power. Niggas gonna die horribly, man. Niggas gonna die horribly. Test for cancer, something, man. God gonna get you niggas, man.
Listen to what he's saying.
Niggas like that don't come from this shit. Niggas like that don't think about all about hurt. Getting game, power.
All they think about is hurting. You hear what he's saying? All they think about, people, niggas like that only think about hurting. Gang, power. He says he's going to die a horrible life. He knows something about the mentality of Diddy that we don't know. Just like the Lots, just like forgot the dude name, Loom, whatever his name was. Just like all those rappers, probably even just like Biggie. That's why Biggie was like, I'm out, man. This nigga Diddy's the devil. Diddy's my man, but that nigga the devil. And Diddy knew it. Biggie definitely was like, Diddy was the devil. You probably can tell that Biggie was going to be out as soon as he got the bread right, and say, yo, I gave you what you needed, Puff. Business, I'm out, deuces. And the devil was like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. There's no way in life that Puffy and Biggie was homeboys. Okay, folks? There's no way in life that they was road dogs. Biggie and Pac was more homeboys than Diddy and Biggie was. Diddy was a slave master that was not trying to allow Puffy to be free. I mean, Biggie to be free, and he was going to make sure that he was everywhere that he could be in that man's life. And then he's going to be part of every disaster of that man's life. So we got to understand what we're dealing with. Diddy is not the type of man that is your friend. Look at Sean Poe. He's not the type of man that's your man. And when you say that he's going to die a horrible death because he didn't keep you going in the industry, or because he's really a wicked, evil person. But if you listen to what he says,
don't know nothing about that because he don't come from this shit. He don't come from this shit for real. Niggas like that don't come from this shit. Niggas like that don't think about all about hurt. Getting game, power. Niggas gonna die horribly, man. Niggas gonna die horribly. Test cancer, something, man. God gonna get you niggas, man. Cause you fuck with God hard, man. You got a nigga like me don't even care about no money. I would have did way more for my city than any one of these niggas did. Cause I'm from Liberty City. I'm from Overtown. Them niggas just shoot videos. Them niggas ain't never did shit for Gibson Park, William Park. Them niggas ain't never built no homes for the homeless. Them niggas ain't did nothing I would have did. Them niggas ain't never did shit for Gibson Park, William Park. Them niggas ain't never built no homes for the homeless. Them niggas ain't did nothing I would have did.
And folks, that's where we at. They ain't never do nothing for these folks what he would have done. And when you have people who have hearts that want to do things and they in the mix because of bigger reasons, they will be the ones that is teary eyed and looking sideline because you know what I'm saying they actually the ones with the right soul. And you guys won't get it. And you guys probably just gonna be laughing and laughing and joking, but not getting that that was you was laughing at God's chosen ones. God used many people in different ways, and sometimes we be using the way that we 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 are in a dark world for a reason to come to light. And when we come to light, it's to teach a lesson. But many times people don't get it, and they just laugh and they joke and they laugh and they joke it. But you're just really laughing at God and you laughing at the Almighty because you laughing at what He put out there. He painting pictures. You laughing at His art. When I saw that young man, I heard him. I'm like, what the heck? And trust me, I don't even follow. Never was following that making the band because back then I actually was mad because I was wanted to do my own thing, and I felt like my idea got snatched up at that time too, and so I wasn't paying attention to none of that making the band stuff. But the bottom line is that when I saw it, seen this guy and I heard it, I really knew that God was moving through him. A lot of you folks won't get it because a lot of you don't want to believe that there's an Almighty Creator that moves through us and use certain situations. And He definitely used this man's situation. Let's go. I'm gonna share this video real quick. No, I'm gonna finish this one up before I go into his music video. I want to finish this up. Like you said, Bill Holmes. He don't even care about the money. Okay, folks. It's like he probably did so much bad right about now. Robbing, stealing, shooting, selling this, selling that, all for money to a point where he's looking at it like he said, what's the point of this shit now? Look what I did to get this. He has a conscience.
Niggas exploited my city, they exploited the culture. Y'all don't know, I'm just telling y'all, man. Be mindful, dog. Appreciate what you got, man. You're not God, bro. When God puts you on a mission to change people's lives, you do what He asks you to do. And you'll be rewarded.
Like you said, when God puts you on a mission to change people's lives, you react and you do that, and then you'll be rewarded. But a lot of times people who see that they have a mission from God and they try and make it become their own personal missions, and they get benefits from it, and they benefit from it, but they're not getting God's rewards. Just because you're getting economic benefits don't mean that you're getting godly rewards. And a lot of times, a lot of people be caught up with that shit, where they thinking that because they getting money and they getting the bag, that they're getting godly rewards. And that's why I be trying to tell all the cookie crush cats that just because the man's collecting money from people who's sending money or for evil, don't mean that he's making money or he's getting godly rewards. He's just getting money from demons because people like to laugh and joke about other people. I know that this man right here, Freddie, whatever his name is getting joked more than he's getting helped. I know he's being ridiculed more than he's being prayed for. But this live stream I'm doing is actually going to take time out to really break down the fact that black men need fathers. And every black man that's being raised without their father is a crime. I'm going to take that right here so it's in the records. Every, I'm going to just put black boy, but every child that's being raised without their father, okay? I'm putting black boy though, but every child, every black boy. I want to put black boy. That's what I want to put. Every black boy who is being raised without their father is that's a crime. Every black boy who is being raised without their father, a crime is being committed on them. Okay, I'll put that. How about that? A crime is being committed. How you spell committed? Two T's. against him. Mm, mm, mm. What you think about that, folks? What you think about this right here? Every black boy who's being raised without their father, a crime is being committed against him. Every black boy, but I want to say every black boy, but the real statement is every child who's being raised without their father. Asian child, African child, Pakistani child, white child, Spanish child, every single child that's being raised without their father, a crime is being committed against them. That's whether the father's locked up, that's whether the father has been killed, that's whether the father is not being allowed to be not being allowed to raise their child. A crime is still being committed against that child no matter what. If their father got murdered in the streets, a crime was committed against that child. If the father just walked up out the lives of the child, a crime is being committed against that child. But one of the worst crimes is when the mother who laid with that man dismisses that man. That's one of the worst crimes to commit. Because within that, there was so much more. It was lust, it was fornication, it wasn't real love. You're not married. You're just a bastard. Just have bastard kids. And there's a lot of ghetto bastards. Like, remember doing Naughty by Nature? Ghetto bastards. There's a lot of ghetto bastards out there. You guys wasn't getting doing Naughty by Nature. They was venting themselves. Naughty by Nature was venting. We naughty by nature. Why? Because we ghetto bastards. Where's my pops? Never knew the fag. Tupac. What was his pops? Ghetto bastards. And it's going to take real men to speak on it, to raise the issues so we can end the issues. It's a crime that you're doing against your child when they do not have their fathers. Because what they do now is they cause their children to become sinners to the highest levels because there's no discipline. One parent cannot discipline a child by themselves because one parent did not produce the child by themselves. So there's no way rightfully that one parent can discipline the child that they didn't produce by themselves. Damn, man, get this man a mic. Hood therapy, folks. I'm going to say it again. And I will debate anybody on the planet on this. I don't care if you think that you did a good job. I'm going to say this again. One parent cannot discipline a child by themselves because one parent did not create the child by themselves. And once you understand that math and that equation, then you have the answer to all your problems. It's always going to take two for the math to be 100% correct. See, we ain't talking about 50-50. We talk about 100% correct. Damn, this guy. I was going to type something I can't remember. I must be some type of celebrity where people feel the need to come in and see like people like this. Like, who is people like this and why they come here? I must be some type of hood celebrity that you want to come and just do shit like that. I don't know. I'll block you. Bye bye. But I don't want to get too caught up with all that dumb shit. I want to go back to this man's video because he's venting, and it's Umar Johnson's fault because the band that came out 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and if Umar was really on his game, if Umar was on his game, and if Umar was smart, as opposed to just trying to hustle the babies and hustle the kids, and if Umar was really smart in all this time, Umar would have had allegiance of young people. He would have right now, because like I say, I didn't get on the spotlight, but I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of young people who come across into my program that is now young adults. That's adults. I'm old now. If I could have done it, there's no reason why Umar don't have thousands of thousands of thousands of young adult men. It's been 10 years. That's really part of his movement. There's no reason why he did not dipped and dabbed into many young adult projects. And you guys really don't get what I'm saying. You've been in the spotlight for the last 5 years of your life. You are supposed, listen up, Umar. In the last 5 years of your life of living, you coon. I'll call you. I see how to say. Let me drop this right here because I'm really talking right now, and I want you guys to understand where I'm going with this. In the last 3 years of your living, in the last 4 years of your living, when you knew the school was around the corner, you were supposed to do a massive recruiting drive for young men. I told you this when I met you, and I'm saying it again, and it's bothering me to say this shit again because you still don't have it. You were supposed to have did a massive recruiting drive of young adult men. And having you done that, you would have been able to reach a lot of these musicians, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these young guys who wanted to get into the industry. If you would have been letting them know that at every school that you were going to build, you're going to have a music studio, you would have had a lot of young men who would want to be part of your FDMG. They'd be like, "Oh, you're going to start your own record company." You know what I'm saying? You would have, in the last 4 or 5 years, you would have had a lot of entertainers. You would have been able to make a mark, and you would have had, you've been able to been doing therapy for all these people who have their situations, because they would have came to you with their situation because they were like, you know what, you're a therapist, can you help out? But because you had no connection with the young adult males, because all you was focusing on was the cookies in the bag, you fumbled the ball. You fumbled the ball. When Kanye West had his little mental breakdown, Kanye West was supposed to have been able to hit you up on the phone, like, "Yo, Doc, I need to talk to you." But you fumbled the ball because you so focused on all of the things that bring separation, and you can't focus on the things that bring unity. And that's because the devil in you is talking. Now, mind you, now I understand why you focus on a lot of things, but that is not going to get the unity to happen. You have to have the movement moving for you to be able to whip the people. You cannot whip the people without really having the movement. And that and take it from me, because I do it myself. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But I never put myself in such a spotlight just when I'm whooping ass. You have to really figure out how to bring in the people to give them the ass whipping. And you got to remember, most people themselves are not going to come into this type of talk because they themselves have certain lusts. But when Kanye West had his breakdown, He should have been able, instead of him running to Donald Trump, he should have got some therapy from you. But he couldn't get therapy from you because you didn't put yourself out there to be valuable for people like him, who has white wife and white half white kids. So you already you already cut the doors off for him. And you actually could have probably been a good conversation for him and help elevate him. And when he finally got that divorce from Kim, he would have understood the true importance of building black families. But because you never even made that connection, he's still getting the white woman. Because you don't know how to make the connections with the people. You didn't take the time out in your life to make the connections with the people. That's why you have a brother like this who's going through the motions and really frustrated and really sad. It's depressing. I need some water. Need some water. I just bought this water today. I'm trying to drink the whole gallon today. I've been doing bad not drinking enough water, man. Then my skin be dry, and I can't be having dry skin, but my skin get dry because I don't drink enough water. This dog always barks when I get a little too loud. Like, this nigga got super ears. I'll be testing too, so I just drop something. He thought, like, damn, I'm in the house. How you hearing it? Fucking dog. All right, so I'm gonna go back to. Let me go to his video real quick. Let me go to his music video because I want you to understand that it's hard for me to really have 100% compassion for individuals when this is what they idolize. But I can say I understand a little bit. But let's look at let's look at his video, and let's look at the mindset of the video. Okay, so we have
time for me to go see what these niggas doing. They ain't even hit me
we got
back.
two guys pulling up, saying with the gun, so about everybody gonna get it. Got tattoos. They in the tattoo shop. So this is what this young generation think is about.
Yo, what up? Hey, bro, slide through, man. We got everything. I ain't be that same time. I was waiting on y'all anyway. All right, come on.
I ain't go through this whole video. I only went through maybe like 1 minute of the video. I just seen a little bit of the beginning. So I'm watching it with you. So we got the gambling inside the tattoo shop. So inside the business, a black people business, we got the gambling going on in the black people business. We got the tats, it's a tattoo parlor. What you mean? We do nothing. Let's just go do it. And so what happens? We get the guns. Hey, what's up, Fred? Big bro, what's up with that mixtape, man? So y'all niggas step inside, man. Y'all know what time it is. Yo, I remember it was about like 20 some years ago. It definitely was longer than that, but it was about, let's say, 25 years ago. We're in 22. It was like 23, 25 years ago. Long time. And I remember a couple of my boys, they just kind of like came home. One of you know what I'm saying, it's so sad because we was all mounted up in the park. It was four of us. We was chilling in the park. We was talking. Wait, let me make sure it's four. One, two. No, it's five of us. Yeah, it was five of us, and might have been four. I don't know if this one guy wasn't there this time around, but we was four of us talking. And I was a good one. I went to college. You know what I'm saying. I graduated from high school in time. I went to college. But these are the guys who I grew up with. You know what I'm saying. We all lived in the same neighborhood, right around the corner, same block, whatever. And so talking money, talking money, talking money, and mind you, like when I was in college, they was out there in the streets and they was hustling for the Supreme team out there in Queens, and they was traveling around state to state with them. They was actually even the young boy shooters. So they would my boys with the bad boys, and so we was talking and we was kicking in the park, and they was like, yo, we need some money, we need some money. And my book, my school, they always call me the square. My squares, thinking ways that we can get money. They looking like, nah, we need money like right now. And so they said, yo, we gonna hit the streets real quick. And so I thought I was gonna go hang with them this time and be part of their little robbing spree. And my boys are, nah, this ain't you, D. You sit back. This ain't you. You ain't built like this. You won't do this. Now they know that I get down, I can fight, you know what I'm saying, soft nigga, all the other stuff. But when it comes to being a thief, that's one thing I'm not. And it was beauty of my people. See, this is why I love my dudes, because for them to say, nah, you can't rock with us, it was like I felt mad at the time, but it was like as I be older, I have nothing but respect for them to even say, nah, we don't want you to come. No, no. But later down the road, they would get mad if I didn't do things. You know what I'm saying? Because they like, yo, we want him to get his hands dirty. But I had one particular dude that always was like, nah. This is my dude. You know what I'm saying? He never really wanted me to get 100% dirty. So when I look at this, it made me think of these guys and when they went on their robbing spree. And so it's like I know niggas, and we all know niggas who do things, and we all know dudes who do the worst of worst. It's just that, is this the life that we really need to live? Like I said, we were always just chilling in the park. We went from chilling in the park to next thing you know, they say, yo, we be back, and they rob them. Did they need to do that? Did they need to take that ring off the woman's finger? Did they need to snap while she was holding the baby? Did they need to close the door in the laundromat and have everybody in fear? Did they need to do that? Or did they just want to do that? And we have so many kids that just do things because we want to do things because we can get away with them because we are not disciplined. Out of those individuals I've talked about, I was the only one that had a mother and father. Okay. The people that I was that was talked about just now, I was the only one that. No, I apologize, because one of them, he he did grow up his mom's his pop as well, but both his parents was crackheads. His brother made it to the NBA. Actually, very, if I say his name, I already told you that before, but I'm not gonna say in this one. But his brother was a star. You know what I'm saying? What's so dope is that his brother played with several teams. His brother played with Wade. He played with Shaq. He played with McGrady. And the funniest thing is that his brother that that I was with when they went in the robbing thing, he was better than him. It's just that he was so much into the street life that he never prospered in school and never did everything right like his brother did. His younger brother, made it to the NBA. And I'm to this day I'm proud of him. But like I said, we all had those issues, and he wasn't able to really maximize off of his talent and maximize off of what he could have did in this community. And I'm actually pissed off because I remember one day I seen him. I jumped in his Jeep, and we drove down the block. And I was talking some things about doing in the community, and saying he kind of brushed me off, and it kind of pissed me off because I'm looking at this young, he's like, "This my peer, it's my dude." Like, nigga, what the fuck? You really, you're cool now? Yeah, that should piss me off. And so I was like, I ain't fuck with you. I went to his party. There was his party that he had where he finally got his $20 million contract. I went to that party and everything, but it was just like, I was like looking at a dude turn to a different type of person. That shit was like whack. And that's what happened to so many of our soldiers. They become whack individuals. So now we go back to this video because this video is very important for you to understand that do they have to do this shit? Do we have to be this type of human beings?
Gas music, these kids lie. But this how real nigga eat. Real street nigga. I swear to God. DJ Ill Will. It only costs a couple thou to get a nigga hit. Right now, a couple thou on a nigga wrist. And for me, they take the price off. So nigga, guess how much your life costs? You ain't heard a couple grand to get some niggas killed. It only take a couple grand to pay some niggas bills. And they move when the lights off. So nigga, guess how much your life costs? I hear you talking all that shit, but it don't get to me. Man, cause I'm in the places you don't get to be. Niggas hit me up when they need a favor. I'm the one to call the niggas playing with your paper. Meet up at the table. Gotta have brunch. Talk about a nigga life while we have lunch.
Call me off guard. They want to know. We going to shout at everybody down. You niggas here gambling and shit, slipping, and then everybody down. Take everything. They got my bracelet and my chain. That's 8 racks. Then I got to get every one of them. I ain't having none one of them. I'm telling you. I got to have them today. Not tomorrow. Today, bro. I need them right now. And then they slid away with the 5. Man, they call it slipping, man. I feel like I was set up.
Hey, where y'all boys at? Y'all need to meet me.
And what's even worse is that when you have people that will set you up just to take what you have. And what type of life is that? Like I say, that's the lives of demons. And there's so many demonic children that's running these streets. And it's funny because people who do lives like this, saying like myself, I do a live like this, and it touches a lot of people's souls because they know they grew up like this. They know they have children like this. They know that they was related to people or in relationships like this. So they don't want to hear it because they're like, man, fuck that, what you talking. But they know what is real. But they like the gossip talk. They like the goofy talk. They like all the other talk. But when we talk about talk that we need to have that help us elevate within us and help elevate our community, we don't want to have this dialogue. But this young man, he lived the life that he lived, and it's kind of hard for a person to really take you into the business world if you live in this life. And so it's like I we hear you on your end of you venting and you saying that this man didn't do what he could have did and what he should have done. But even look at the story of Biggie and Diddy. Biggie was like, Diddy was like telling Biggie like, yo, you can't get on the radio, get radio spins, rapping gangster, being gangster. So, okay, so maybe he wanted to have a couple gangster rappers and see what that can do. But when your life is constantly gangster, and you as a CEO, exec can't even be around you because saying they fear for their lives. Obviously, they're gonna be like, yo, I ain't got time for it. So I'm looking at the video to really understand, like, is this your mentality, and do you think that anybody really want to be around this type of shit? You know what I'm saying? With this type of energy, and then for you to be putting the mirror on someone else, did you look in the mirror and look at yourself? But he did, and he said he asked God to forgive him for his sins. He knows he did wrong in his younger years and younger age, and he know he did wrong. But yet, and still, you still did wrong. What are you doing yourself to make peace with your sins? And That's the hardest part of life, when you have to decide what you're going to do yourself, by yourself, to make peace with your sins. And that's where a lot of people are in life, you know what I'm saying? Especially those who was very sinful.
I'm in the beatings on 6'3" and 15. Before I met Diddy, I was the murder man. Riding around with a tech in a stolen van. Mom had a drinking problem, boy, I used to have it hard. So motherfucker hobby, robbing was a job. I used to get a call, tell me where you at. Just give me 10 minutes, and I'm gonna give you check. Looking for the sack, laying niggas down, lives getting snatched. It only costs a couple thousand.
Okay, so I'm going to rewind what he said and go back to what he said before he was with Diddy. Yeah. Okay. And so we're going to talk about the fact that before he met Diddy, what was he doing? Let's hear.
Robbing was a job. Murder man, I feel like I was set up. Hey, where y'all boys at? Y'all need to meet me. I'm in the beatings on 6'3" and 15. Before I met Diddy, I was the murder man. Riding around with a tech in a stolen van. Mom had a drinking problem, boy, I used to have it hard. So motherfucker hobby, robbing was a job.
You know what's crazy? When we have drinking problems at young age, you know, I used to drink beer when I was young. And you know what I'm saying, my parents used to drink beer, so they used to drink soft beer, Budweiser, but it was still beer. And so I was drinking beer. Then when I went to college, 17, I was drinking. 18, I was drinking. 19, I was drinking. By the time I was 20, I would say I had a habit of drinking beer every single day, 40 ounces, 2, 3 40s a day. Okay, 2, 3 40s a day. That was my thing. Old English. Then you know, what I'm saying, when you was young, you drink, not just drinking, but you was, not only was you drinking, but you was watching the music video. You know what I'm saying? So that became, you know what I'm saying, I need my 40. I need my 40, need my blunt. And I need that with my music. So what I speak is just facts of what the young people are going through now. It's what we pass down. It's generational curses that we pass down. It's hypnotic that makes us want to pick our 40 and smoke our blunt and bounce and shit. And like you said, he was an alcoholic. He had a problem before he met. He was a gunman before he met Diddy. So Diddy is a music producer. Is like, yo, he's trying to find that real shit. So okay, I got some real hitters. Okay, spit. But Diddy's not for that world. Diddy's not for that life. Even though Diddy's become part of that life, don't not twist it. But Diddy is not of that nature where that's what he wants first. He don't want that first, but he wants that on his team. So when it comes down for people to get got, he's gonna have his hitters and his shooters. But that's not the energy that a Zek wants every day, every second. And I think that could have been the problem as well. I'm not defending Diddy because I mean I want Diddy to really address it himself, but who wants to be around that energy every day, all day? Within my cipher of dudes, it was one of those dudes getting drunk, and he get drunk fast. Don't know how to act when he get drunk. Really don't know how to act when he get drunk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, folks, who we gonna blame?
Used to get a call, tell me where he at. Just give me 10 minutes, and I'ma give you check. Looking for the sack, laying niggas down, lives getting. It only costs a couple thou to get a nigga hit. Right now, a couple thou on a nigga wrist. And for me.
Now they say a lot of times, "Oh, don't be listening to the words of these rappers and stuff like that." But I'm going to say like this: when we used to go to the studio, we actually, we made good songs. But if he put something in a song, he says something in a song, he did it. Okay. If he rapped about this gat, if he rapped about being on the block, he rapped about this money. So it's like I hear a lot of times they say don't believe these rappers in their fairy tale world. But I'm going to say that all the rappers that I know and all the rappers that I even took into the studio, because I took several rappers to the studio, paid for the studio time and things like that as well. They was about that life. There's not one rapper that I know that I know personally that rapped a rap that didn't live that rap. All these other fake fictitious individuals be talking gangster and rapping against the rap. Okay, yeah, but that's really not the case on the majority scale, because the majority of the scale, they do touch and they do talk about what they touch. It might not be on the scale that they talking, but they picked up a gun, they pulled the trigger, they robbed somebody, they laid people down, they tied people up, they stole this and they sold that, and they put this on the track, they put this on the stroll, they did what they did. And I'm going to think at least like 20 rappers and 20 guys that I know that rap that they did it. So it's like, I'm not going to say that this young man wasn't that person. I'm going to look at him and say that I believe he was that type of nigga. That we're going to rewind so you guys can hear again, because he's venting.
I used to get it round with a tech. Y'all need to meet me. I'm in
tomorrow, today, bro. I need them right now. And then they slid away with the fire. Man, they caught us slipping, man. I feel like I was set up.
Where y'all boys at? Y'all need to meet me. I'm in the beats on 6th Street and 15. Before I met Diddy, I was the murder man. Round.
I was the murder man. I remember when one of my peoples told me a situation that happened. Because he said, this dude said he was the murder man. And it freaked me out because, what I'm saying, like I was a square pants. And he was talking about, that one time he was like, yo, remember when such and such got killed? It was really horrible. Kid got, killed during school. To me, it's because they knew I could do it. They came to me to go get the killer. Yo, people, this shit is funny as hell. As I'm 17. Remember, I said that there's a guy out here that he's stooped since I was 7. I've been in the street since I was 7. I'm 34 now. I've been off the stoop since 7. Nothing I haven't done. And so my dude was saying that, so they said they were going to pay him to get the shooter who killed this individual. So he went to the building, bucking while they shooting down, chasing him. He's shooting back up. He escaped that to tell me the story. And you know, it's just so weird because I'm looking at him like, dude, you my man, right? I was like, yeah. I was like, we play video games together, right? He said, yeah. It's like, that's all I know you do. Like, what's all this extra stuff? He's like, yo, Dom, man, yo, when you went to college and everything, you know, I was in the streets. Back to the video.
With a tape in the stolen van. I'm in on 6th Street and 15. Before I met Diddy, I was the murder man. Riding around with a tech in a stolen van. I had a drinking problem, boy, I used to have it hard. So motherfucker hobby, robbing was a job. I used to get a call, tell me where he at. Just give me 10 minutes, and I'ma be with Jack. Jack, looking for the sack. Laying niggas down, lives getting snatched. It only costs a couple thousand to get a nigga hit. Right now, a couple thousand on a nigga wrist. And for me, they take the price off. So nigga, guess how much your life costs? I ain't heard a couple grand to get some niggas killed. It only take a couple grand to pay some niggas bills. And they move when the lights off. So nigga, guess how much your life costs?
What's your life cost?
See you niggas chillin', see some older ladies, see a couple children. Told my nigga pull the car up a little more. Let me out on the side of this tower. Got that fucking stick, that's 100 rounds. Got it all safe, cause it's going down. Hopped up out the car, ran around the truck. They thought it was a jack. They put their hands up. So I jacked the niggas, and I took their clothes. Before I left the niggas, it was with bullet holes. Hey, it was with bullet holes. They wanna know who did it, only the bullet knows. It only costs a couple thousand to get a nigga hit. Right now, a couple thousand on a nigga wrist. And for me, they take the price off. So nigga, guess how much your life costs? You ain't heard a couple grand to get some niggas killed. It only take a couple grand to pay some niggas bills. And they move when the lights off. So nigga, guess how much your life costs? Gotta kill a house, a killer ride, and I was raised with a killer ride.
Well, folks, the life of killers. And that's why I carry my mallet. Because you have killers who walk the earth. And the word is killer bee. I don't go by that model. I go by a different type of model. It's a spiritual model. And I'll be like, yo, I know God got me. But yet and still, he got me smart enough to know that, yo, have that Thor. Have that Thor and be ready to open anybody's door. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't have it up there right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to put that video out there just so that we can really get a better understanding of this man's mentality. So, like I said, he stated, you know what I'm saying, that he prayed for his sins. You know, he's probably like that, definitely. You know, we know that, you know, saying we know that he was definitely going through stuff when he was younger. He's a little older now, especially doing this video. And as he said, yo, come on, man, you've been at $900 million for a very long time. Kanye done passed you, Jay done passed you, damn near Rihanna about to pass you. The one of your stepsisters, the Kardashian sister, passed you. Oh no, I'm thinking about Kanye. Diddy, it's like the Kardashian chick even passed you. Like, what's really good? And so he's like, because your heart is wrong, because you everything's about gang.
You got 900 million, nigga, you still at 9. Kanye don't pass you. Jay don't pass you. Cause they don't practice bad business ain't stepping on each other to get where they gotta go. Nigga, you look at Jay-Z, nigga, Jane made millions. Bane made 200,000 with you, nigga. But you done made over 60, 70 million off, 70 million off us, nigga. We make 200,000 a piece off you, nigga.
This gross brown fat tissue is the key to your losing weight without starving your.
So he's basically saying that Diddy made $70 million easy off of them, and they ain't even made $200,000 each a piece. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't make nothing. Is it about that, or is it really about Diddy's heart being wicked? So if you would have made millions with him, would you have been doing this video? And that's the thing. Would he be doing this video if he would have made money with Diddy? It's like Don King and Mike Tyson. Don King said, "Yo," he said, "Yo, Mike, if I robbed you off good, huh?" It's like, if I robbed you, I guess you came off good. I want to know if people made money, would they really talk about the devil? Would they go against the devil?
I love you, man. You know what you did for our city? I love you, man. In the middle of the club, my nigga. Nigga ain't never gave me, nigga ain't never caught me. Say, man, like real niggas supposed to. Every artist in Miami look out for each other. You ever see anyone nigga do anything?
You saw about Rick Ross.
Them niggas got they deal on the strength of me, man. By a nigga who sold 80 million records. You can't take away time. I had to find ways to live this shit. I want step kids or something, dog. Cause my son grown, and seeing him happy, seeing him be successful is the last thing I want on earth. Y'all niggas don't know. I contemplated suicide because I love God. I'm tired of this shit.
He said he contemplates suicide because he loved God. Now that's some deep shit. You contemplate suicide because you love God. Now that means that he's so tired of this world, so tired of people here, so tired of doing evil, so tired of being evil, so tired of just trying to survive in manipulative eyes. You know what I'm saying? He's not surviving. And like I said, he wanted to just become a real person, get a job, and just chill. But no, he got to keep selling dope for 20 years just so he can live a certain lifestyle. It's time out for us to really keep trying to live, trying to live for others and trying to be like others. It's time for us to really just find ourselves and do what's best for us. And right now, it's not shining. It's not about being flossy. It's about actually doing right. Because at the very end of every day, when you try and floss, you can't floss but so much. And at the end, you're going to be like, what's this all about? And then you're going to just want to be a regular person. So we might become regular people and do regular things and help each other grow and help each other eat so that we can all start living and being happy, so that we don't want to take from each other because all we're doing is giving. It's such a different type of world when you're giving as opposed to you just want to take from each other. We want to take each other's spot. We want to take each other girl. We want to take each other man. We want to take each other's spotlight. It's like, but just imagine when we just giving and we all start giving. That's very important, folks. Robbing the hood to give.
I'm tired of earth, man. I want somebody to take my life, bro. Y'all niggas don't know. I contemplated suicide because I love God. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of earth, man. I want somebody to take my life, bro. I asked God to take my life, bro. I don't want to do it. Because of the shit that we've been through. I step on shit. No problem.
So he's about to go through his breakdown at this second right now. But if you pay attention to what he says he asked God to take his life. He said he don't want to do it. He contemplates suicide, but he don't want to do it because the signal over that you're going to hell. So he don't want to kill yourself. You're going to go to hell. I mean, I want to know who knows that. But they said if you kill yourself, you're going to go to hell. So we are a generation of people who say that we want to kill ourselves, we want to commit suicide, but we don't want to do it. That's why so many guys out there in the streets robbing and shooting and killing each other because they really want their lives to end. They really want their own life to end. So they out there in the streets in this manner trying to see how long they can play Russian roulette with death because they really want their own to end. And like I said, if you really talk to like 25 million men across the world, this boy right here is probably really speaking for them. And the real story is, where are the fathers at? Why we don't have our fathers in their lives? Why so many women looking for somebody to mentor their kids and put them with children, and especially their boys in mentor programs, but their father is not qualified. Why was he qualified to make a baby and raise a son? Because he wasn't qualified to be a father? What in the world is wrong with y'all then? But we don't want, we can't talk this talk. We can't have this conversation because this conversation is not super chat. This ain't the super chat conversation. This ain't the Cash App PayPal conversation. This that eat the conversation. That shit that make your soul burn slow. You know what I'm saying? This that conversation that nobody, especially our women, don't want to hear. Because I'm so tired of hearing these women out here in Philly saying it'll just be one phone call. It'll be like, yo, bitch, that's the for what? One phone call for what? For someone's life to end? So you think you have the power to make one phone call to end someone's life? It only take one phone call. Make that phone call if I decide that I'm going to take your life. Like, folks, you guys got to really understand that we are putting such an evil, demonic entity out there in the world. And tomorrow I'm gonna do several lives, the basic instructions of before leaving Earth. We're going to talk about whether it's a true fact book or it's just a book of stories. But we're going to be looking at some of the stories. We're going to look at some of the people within the stories. We're going to look at the cast. We're going to look at the crew. And we're just going to study and we're going to learn from these cast members of this book and see if it relates to life. And we have similar stories in this present day to that book. We're also going to look in the book and see if there was talk about technology in that book. We're going to see if there's talking about technology in that book. We're gonna look at the beginning of the book Genesis and see if that ark was flying or if that ark was just a boat. But one day when I first finally picked up the book and I opened the book and I read the book, I saw that the book said the boat was flying. That's what I read. I saw the boat was flying. And so I was like, hold on, look at this shit. It's saying it's flying. Why are we not understanding it's flying? And I'm telling all my family members like, the boat was flying. They looked, but they was taught. They wasn't able to learn from what they wasn't taught. Meaning that they have to learn from what they read and see. Not someone telling you this shit, but what you see, what you hear, what you read. When you read this, and that's not always the right way, but sometimes that is the right way because the boat was flying. The boat was flying. And so, like I said, we're going to go into that. We're going to find out what's the problem. And the problem is it's easy to be able to manipulate a certain race of humans. It's easy to manipulate a certain being of humans And once you can manipulate that certain race and that certain being of humans, then you have boys growing up fatherless and boys living life like this, where, and like I said, there's no slap to this man right here, but it's just that he's the perfect example of mental health breakdown because of lack of fathers and lack of family structure. And when you leave these boys out here to become men and you don't give them the love, this is the end result.
I told my son the other day, I said, you know how good I feel knowing you don't have to come up in a life where you gotta pray for your sins. Where you don't have to worry about. I said, dog, I've been through a lot. I've been praying for my forgiveness for my whole life. I don't know no other way. I don't know what it feels to be a good citizen. I don't know that shit, dog. I never had that money. From 13, we've been riding on our own, dog. Big gangsters. My mama was a kid. We ain't had no daddies at all that shit y'all niggas got. We ain't got all that, man. My big brothers is my daddy, dog. And we learned along the way. So I came up in life where shooting is normal, robbing is normal. That's my son don't have to go through that. He could be a.
So, translation of what he just said, he said he grew up in a life where shooting is normal, robbing is normal, killing is normal. That's because he grew up in a demonic life. See, like I said, we take away one key word. We think we say what is that? We supposed to say street life? That's street life? No, that's the demonic street life, because there's many elements of street life. I'm in the streets. I make my money in the streets. But that's, I don't have to rob, steal, kill. No, that's not part of my life. But I'm in the streets making my money. So what is the street life? We use the wrong words. It's the demonic world that we put ourselves into. And that's because the lack of discipline, meaning the lack of fathers. Fathers bring discipline. Fathers are supposed to be disciplinary people. When you look at that book, the Bible, and he said, Father, the Creator, his father disciplined them when they did wrong. They did wrong. One time they got disciplined. There's no get out my face. You're making me, you getting my nerves. There's none of that. They got disciplined. My mom used to always say, I'm gonna tell your father. I'm gonna tell your father. But I'm gonna tell discipline. I'm gonna discipline about to come and get you. Discipline's coming to get you. Here come discipline. And once you take discipline out, and you know, well, now I'm gonna send you over to your grandmother's house. Boys, I'm gonna send you to your grandmother's house because grandma was the only disciplinary action in the household because the father wasn't around. That's discipline in his life.
Citizen, he can go through anything in his world. So I came up in a life where shooting is normal, robbing is normal. That's my son will have to go through that. He can be a citizen. He can go through anything in his world. Pilot. My fucking son can be a pilot. Nigga. I think I get money, gang. Cause Kimo money make me happy. Nigga, my dog asked me the other day. He like, what make you happy, bro? I'm like, I don't even know, man. Just I like doing for people. I just like to be able to be there for people. I just love to be there for people. That's what made me happy from day one. That's why I even did it, man. I don't give a fuck about no music, man. God gave me this talent. This talent is given, bro. You can't take that from me, bro. I do this shit. This shit y'all work hard on, I do in 2 minutes, man. 2 minutes.
And he just said the problem. He said God gave him this talent. He said the shit that y'all do to take forever, he do in 2 minutes. And when he do his work, what's the videos that come out? What's the work? Rob, kill, steal. So that's why you're not going to get blessed in that world, my dude. See, this is hood therapy. You do not deserve the economic blessings from your talents if you use your talent for videos of destruction, if you use your talent for videos of killing one another, if you use your talents of he was caught. What was he going to supply these people with? They said they out. What was he going to supply these people with? What is he doing where he got an $8,000 bracelet on or watch on? You know what I'm saying? What is he doing that these guys robbed him for $10,000 worth of money in jewelry? What are you doing in your life that you're able to have all that stuff? So no matter what way we look at it, do right, stay in the right lane, right will come. So it's like I'm not having sympathy and I'm not having pity, but I do have respect for the fact that you can't love, because the tough love that he needs is for him to realize that, and which he already did, but yet and still he has to understand that you have to do work now. You can't just say, okay, I robbed, I stilled, I killed, you know what I'm saying, I shot at people, I did all this other crazy stuff, but now because I don't want to be in this world for to take my road to help it grow, to help it grow properly. Take out some of the weeds. Let's start. There's a lot of things that you must do before you leave, and you can't be. You're going to do all this destruction and just up and bounce, just like that. No, you got to stay here and deal with it. So, homeboy, the best thing I think that you could do is give your life up to the Lord and be like my man Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? He turned his life around. Where is Shabbat at? He turned his life around. Turn your life around. Start spitting for the Lord. Start spitting for righteousness. Something that we can grow with. That's the only thing you can do until your time comes up. Your number's chosen for you to die. But until then, you can't be sitting back casting blame on the devil. You knew he was the devil. How could we sit there and spend time blaming the devil when the devil did what the devil was supposed to do? The devil put a block, or do you want to be in a job? If shit comes easy, like I say, write albums of doing, write the blueprint of building your community. Write the blueprint of what it's going to take to reverse the curse in the ancestral curses in the hood. Right, the streets. I mean, like if I could do this Diddy shit all day, because I am a game. I don't just say things, just say things. I used to take artists into the studio. This would be topics I would tell you to write on. This the topics we need. We need with my music entertainment. This is what we was gonna do. We was gonna have two sides. We're gonna have the dark side of the music. We're gonna have the bright side of the music. Spit that street fire. Spit that street fire. That uplifting street fire. That down playing street fire. And then we was gonna do a major comparison of the music. And everything's for sale, but we're gonna compare so we can destroy. That's my music company. Compare music to destroy the devil's music. We need writers for the good. And a good writer is a writer that knows. So if you know the dark side, you time to do your part. It's time for every man to do his part. I hope you look at this video and don't ever think that you played yourself, because you didn't play yourself. Because there's things that you're not saying. We know, I know it. There's a whole lot that you're not saying. So I don't think that you playing yourself for 1 second. Stronger, build yourself up. I need you to really 1000% get away from that street life. Continue to keep praying. Keep your prayers up. Never stop praying. Ask for forgiveness for all your sins every day. Pray that you didn't pass these ancestral curses down to your son. And like I say, start writing for the right. You still have time. And like this man said to me, you gotta write. You gotta write. Right. You gotta write. You gotta keep writing. Don't stop writing. Just continue to write. Keep writing. Keep writing. Keep writing. Keep writing. And then the word's gonna come out. You're gonna get that, so you can do right in your name. So you can buy these land up. Because there's a lot of homes down the floor that can be bought up and done with. It's time for right people to be in the right position to do so. So keep writing. Don't stop writing. Don't give fucks. Suicide ain't gonna choose. So it's time for you just to man up and get with real men, not these little boys in the streets running around robbing and stealing. Because little boys do shit like that. Not real men. Little boys rob and steal from one another. I hate people like that. I really mean that. Like personally, looking at the video, they robbed me, yo. But if I had the ultimate power, man, I would just straight up and down evaporate every single person who have thoughts of robbing and stealing like that. Gone, gone, gone. You guys wouldn't want me to have Thanos, all the Thanos who had to get all those rings, all the rings. Man, if I got all those rings, boy, I'm thinking about now if I was Thanos and I collected all those rings, everybody, not everybody, but I one chance. It'll be simple. It'll be if I had all those rings, I'd be getting to mine. So imagine I'd be able to talk to everybody, ask them one question. Ask them all one question, and with that first thought that they would think, that'll be it, and they'll be gone according to their answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're lucky I don't have all those rings. He said it takes a lot for me to do this video. That's very important.
This shit y'all work hard on, I do in 2 minutes, man. minute.
Take a yo, it's funny as shit. Cause I'm sitting here saying to myself, like, why he has his shirt off, his hair's is all wild style right now, and his shirt off. I remember when I did my video. Damn, I can't even pull that video up. And I think I deleted it off my phone. Shit. But I had a video on my old channel that was deleted by some stupid bitch. For whatever reason, who knows, but she was stupid as shit. But I don't even know how I woke up. I was in the hotel and I woke up like 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning. And I was thinking, and my hair, I didn't have a haircut. I went the whole year without getting a cut because I wanted to see if my hair could grow. It just grew, but it didn't grow in the middle. Whole year and change. It didn't grow in the middle. It didn't grow. I laugh. I forget what I was saying. And so it was just so weird that when I did the video saying, yo, what if I decide to say fuck court? Because I had a lot of thoughts rolling through my mind, and my hair was like this, but it wasn't, twisted, but my hair was like this, and I didn't have a shirt on. When we get into this state right here, it's like, yo, we get into jungle mode. We get into our African jungle mode. Like, we don't need no clothes. I don't need nothing on. Fuck this shit. We get warrior style. You know what I'm saying? Why does it get like that? Why do we get into warrior mode and strip down and like, yo? You know why, folks? Because that's the point of that's the break. He's 100% at breaking point mode. And what's going to help him is someone really reaching out to him and saying, I heard you. And realistically, I don't want you in the streets no more. I want you to put down your gun. I'm going to bring you to the studio. I'm going to invest the money into you in your career. But this is what I need you to do, and it has to be right. Somebody just got to embrace him and put the money towards him and have him spit the right words, because his words can probably save somebody one day. And I hope these words are reaching somebody as well one someday. Like I say, I don't need to have anybody in my live stream because this is my way of being like him. Venting. I seen the situation and I felt him 100%. You know what I'm saying? I'm owed money by Umar Johnson. He feels he's owed more than what Diddy provided for him. And he feels like the world needs to know this. We have media and we have social media, and we now can become the media, and we can put out our own information, our own content. We can have our own newspaper. We can have our own news channel. We can do anything that we want right now. And so he chose to vent and let it be known why he's really going through his mental state. And it's all going back to this dude, Diddy, and everything that came from that era, that whole situation. There's no telling what these boys done went through in that time frame. There's no telling what they did. There's no telling what they've did for Diddy. And it bothers this man. It's hurting his soul. And I feel him on that. And it hurts me that, saying, I know he's going to be ridiculed by many. He's going to be joked by many. Just like I was joked by many, ridiculed by many, supported by several, supported by a few. And to this day, I only have a few true supporters. Everyone else is flip-floppers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do flip-flop tonight. I'm gonna do flip-floppers tonight. We're gonna go into flip-floppers. I've been not talking about flip-floppers. But Slew, what it do, man? I really appreciate you for tuning in. Vici, I appreciate you for coming down. I hope I'm saying your name right. Vici, right? Vici. 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 Shout out to Vici for tuning in. Slimfoot. And everyone else who popped in and out, then you wanted to go check someone else's live, came in and showed love and just tuned in. Like I said, I want more conversation with what I be talking about. That'll make me feel much better. For us to have more dialogue, for us to really open up the panel. Because, I mean, for me to be having these live streams and we be able to do so much stuff and we not doing the stuff and just having me talk, it's kind of whack. I mean, we could be having more comments. We can have more private chats. We can have more people on the panel. You know what I'm saying? We can have more dialogue. And that's what we need to have. You know what I'm saying? I can, as you see, I could go 2 hours and I could pull up my buttons and have conversation with my buttons and bring them into the whole video. You know what I'm saying? How like it's important for us to be able to handle us men like this who's dealing with some real issues with care. Like he said, he was a murderer. He's the person that you called. He get the gun. He coming on the run, laying people down. So you gotta be able to handle with care with individuals like that because they're the type who don't really give a fuck, but yet it still gives a fuck. So it's important to know how to handle people who don't give a fuck at the end of the day, but at the beginning of the day, they really want to give a fuck about something. They want to live for something. But because they don't see nothing to really live for, they're gonna have that mentality in the back of their minds. I don't give a fuck. When you're dealing with people like that, it's important to handle with care. Everybody out there, it's time to do your part. Do your part. Do your part. Lennon. He was screaming that. He's screaming, we cookie crush. But you question the cookies for the bag, your part. Time for us to get it right. Do what's right. Every day, folks. Do what's right. Don't get mad at the messenger. But we're going to talk about flip-flopping people or the flip-flops. And that's pretty much it. Oh, you know what? There's another part of this video that I'm going to sign off right here. One last part. I'm going to go a little bit further down. About right here.
I don't want to do that.
He said publicly humiliating, so irrelevant. See, that right there is very important. He says publicly, let's see what he's talking about right here. Because this is what is so this is killing him. I know this is killing him. It's killing him. Let's see.
Failure. If I'm succeeding in music, anything else in this world, you get publicly humiliated. So I gotta sell dope. I gotta do what I gotta do to stay relevant for 20 years to make sure my son has, because I can't go get it. I gotta do this shit. And pedestal to where I could be a world failure. If family and law enforcement, I could have been a CSI, I could have been anything, man.
He said that his family was, he said most of his family's in law enforcement. He said he could have been a CSI. He could have been that ill detective. He could be anything he wanted. He said he don't even have no felonies. He don't have no record. He's been in the streets all these years. He don't even have a record. He said he can get a job and do all these sorts of things. But why he didn't do it? Let's hear.
But you put me on a pedestal to where I could be a world failure. If I'm succeeding in music, anything else in this world, you get publicly humiliated.
Damn. He said it's not that it has to be facts, but what he said is definitely nonfiction. It has facts to it. He says that when you put a person on a pedestal to be world famous musically, you put them on a pedestal for failure if they do not succeed, because nothing else in life they really can do. For example, look at Ronnie from Belle Biv DeVoe. Ronnie, he went from being part of New Edition and BBD, Belle Biv DeVoe, and being selling millions of records. And now he sells millions of dollars in property, but he gets no shine. He's not relevant. We're not even doing business with him, with buying real estate with him. It's like well, he became a regular person, but in the world of real estate, he's probably doing great. And all those people probably looking up to him, but for some reason, we as black folks, he's gonna let you know, but we as black folks say, oh, he failed. He ain't doing music no more. Why he not doing music no more? Why he selling real estate? Shit. He's like, because it's do better, it's easier. I mean, it's less work. But he's a failure to many people in the eyes of music, and not being able to retire in a certain type of level, because when you put on certain pedestals after music, what is it? And so it's like you say, they put him on the spotlight with the pedestal to fail.
Publicly humiliated. So I gotta sell dope. I gotta do what I gotta do to stay relevant for 20 years and make sure my son has, because I can't go get. I gotta do this shit. I don't want to do that shit. Nobody survived this long in that shit. I did, nigga. Not halfway either. Ask him. Step on shit for real. Ask him. That ain't shit to brag about. You know why I did that? To protect my family. That's on the streets. Nobody. All I had on my brother trigger and foot. I ain't had no uncles that was known for this shit. My nephew uncles known for this shit. Y'all play with them, you know what's coming with this shit.
So is he saying that his nephews are in the streets, or he's saying his nephews is out there doing the same thing? And that's where we at. It's like carrying on the street to traditions. Why we continue to carry on these traditions? Why we continue to pass it down to our younger generation to carry this on, and you hold down the block? If it's the block is basically not getting you nowhere except for you want to kill yourself. What is wrong with us is because we don't have fathers in our lives to teach us, to spank us, to beat us, to put fear in us, to get us off those streets. That's what's hurting us. That's what's been hurting us for the last 30, 40, 50 years. We need our daddies back. We really need our fathers back. So, folks, all you ladies out there who's thinking about having a baby, make sure that you respect the man. Not just love him, but make sure you have respect for him. You respect the path that he's walking. You respect the path that if he's walking and he just so happened to falls back, you still respect him enough to push him forward. Just have respect, because respect comes love. Our young people need you. Thank you for your listen here, your support. You can support me at Icy Don 167. You can support me in the chat. Like I said, I'm going to do the live stream on Flip Floppers because I just feel like doing the live stream on Flip Floppers. And thank you for your listen here, your support. Have a beautiful day. Peace. I thought I ended it. So once again, thank you for your listen here, your support. You definitely have a beautiful evening. I'm going to do the live around, I don't know, 6 hours. Around like 8 o'clock ish. We're going to do flip floppers. What's this topic right here? This topic is going to be very interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna name all the names of who I believe are flip floppers. I might name like 10. I gotta gather all the people who flip flopped. But this live right here was very important because, like I say, it's a lot of men out here that's going through certain struggles and they're going through issues and they just really need a hug. They need a father figure. They need love, and we have to really realize that it's going to take a deep down love to really bring us up out this situation. It's going to take that deep down love. Okay, the problem with flip floppers, what we say? The problem with flip floppers, they are not stable. Who fights a war with flip flops? Okay, so that's what this one's going to be about. They are not stable, and who can fight a war with flip flops? Can you imagine running around in rubble with flip flops on, fighting a war? Can you imagine running around in a war with a bunch of people who's flip flopping? So we definitely going to talk about flip flops because we are in war, folks. There's a war going on outside. There's no man safe from, and we have to really man up, get booted, suited, and get our troops ready. Because later, what you think? Thank you for your listening here, your support. You all have a beautiful day. Sun is out. Go do something. I seen this one guy. He was walking around the park, and he was just picking up the trash. You know what I'm saying? He was, he was just doing his walk, but it's like in his mind, he said, "You know what? I could do more." He just start picking up the trash. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna go outside and sweep the block. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go outside and sweep the block and sweep the sidewalk straight down the whole block because it just makes me sick every day seeing the trash out like that. So I'm gonna clear it out. I'm gonna go sweep it up. Go out there and do something, folks. Peace. Let's end it now. We're gonna say end.